Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome in, friends, to the Gen Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here with you for the next 20 minutes or so talking about all manner of weird and wild and wonderful things from a Gen X perspective. We typically go completely random. We've got Mega Wheel the Magnificent, upon which there are 500 plus topics stationed. And I will go ahead and give the wheel a spin right now and get us right into things. This is episode, by the way, 21, I believe. 21 times we've done this. Now, I know we're not actually playing them in order, because if we talk about like holidays and stuff, they're kind of getting switched around. But
yeah,
in numerical order, in chronological sequencing, this would be number 21, even though you might hear it in number 17 spot or something like that.
You never know.
Because that's how we do things. So, we've got the question. And, of course, traditionally, Bunny starts. So he's prepped, eyes closed, focused, very
not really
ready.
Focused at all. I'm just swimming, baby.
What's one thing you would change about yourself?
What is one thing I would change about myself? I would change... I'm guessing it's probably going to be I would change my... can't even think of the word.
Well,
my inertia.
Okay.
The older I get, the more I feel the effects of inertia.
Okay. How so?
It's mental sometimes, it's physical sometimes, but I have tons and tons of great ideas. Haha. I have lots of ideas, let's say that. And lots of projects I want to work on. And I still have the potential to go out and do new things, meet new people, create new games, do all sorts of things. But I run into this inertia problem, and it's almost becoming a crutch as I get older, where I immediately think like, oh, I'm in my 50s. So I could spend time writing that new book, or coming up with that new game system, or making that new series, or making a film that I've always wanted to make. But I'm also in a point where I could be dead in a year from now. You know, that there's...
But you've always been at a point where you could be dead a year from now. That doesn't track.
Yeah, but for some reason now that I'm really in that fold, I'm in that 50s loop.
You're only 50.
It's true, but I have had a lot of friends in former professions and that I've had that have passed in their 50s. And it's this sort of weird, like, do I want to spend my time putting out a bunch, grinding out a bunch more stuff, or do I just want to let it go? Because, there are other people out there that are making stuff too, and they're making it better and faster and younger and hipper than anything that I could make. This is my inertia mind talking here. And I just had an interesting conversation with a client who told me the thing that she believes that a person's worth is not based on what they can produce or how fast they can produce it, that doesn't really track with a person's worth their eyes. And I would agree with that too, but for some reason that inertia just has been dragging on me the older I get. So that would be the one thing I would change. I would go back to being a little more of a production powerhouse. How about you?
First, on that, and I think this goes for anyone creative at any age, don't talk yourself out of stuff too quickly.
I'm a pro at that.
Well, anytime I'm not a fan of but statements.
Sure.
I could spend time doing this or creating this, but somebody else is going to do it quicker and faster. No, somebody may do it quicker, faster, but they're not going to do it like you.
True.
And that's for any artist. The originality is in you. It's not necessarily in the product or how it's presented. The originality is in the artist. And if you've got an idea for something, it's always worth doing. It's always worth putting the time into. You know, if it will make you happy, if it will be fun to do, if you feel the urge to do it, don't talk yourself out of it. That's the bigger thing. I mean, if we, and this podcast was your idea,
my idea,
if you had talked yourself out of it,
yeah,
we wouldn't be doing this. And true. I'm having a blast.
Me too.
You know, do we need more listeners? Obviously, yeah. You always want more listeners, but regardless of the listeners, doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it. It's too much fun.
So what are you going to change about yourself, sir, in your 50s?
As you were pondering your answer, I was thinking to myself, this is really difficult for me because I could go with the obvious physical thing. If I could change one thing about myself, I wouldn't be diabetic. I would have a functioning, working pancreas. I wouldn't have had the autoimmune disorder that caused my T1D. That's too easy of an answer, though. So if I could change anything about myself, I would want to be less pessimistic. And I would think that me saying that may surprise some people because I tend to look on the bright side of life in a lot of ways, at least as I have aged. My natural tendency is toward pessimism. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to be good. This isn't going to go anywhere. These people aren't going to listen to this. Somebody's going to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And I try to quell that as much as I can. So maybe I am changing the thing about myself that I don't like. For a while, I thought I was just too realistic. You know, this is just how things are. But no, it was an innate pessimism. And so I guess I am trying to overcome it. That's what I wish I could. I wish I could just be naturally hopeful.
Sure.
And I tend not to be.
I think that's something that I can totally understand where you're coming from with the pessimism. You know that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that don't know me on a deeper level, that know me just through social media or through television programs I've been on or whatever, they think that I'm super bright and hopeful and kind and cheerful and all that. I am, but as Scott can tell you, or my long-suffering wife can tell you, or other people can tell you, my parents could have told you this, their biggest worry when they left this planet was that they just wanted me to be happy.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted. And they were genuinely concerned that I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because I grew up the same way. I was always a glass half empty.
Yeah.
Waiting for the next apocalypse to come, prepping for doom that
sure.
that may or may not show up. So I get that, yeah. And I always played it off as being a realist as well. Yeah. But in truth, it's being a pessimist.
And I think it's a natural inclination. We're still all animals, and you're always concerned about what's coming down the pike. What's the weather going to be? Do I have enough stuff in the pantry in case something does happen? Do I have enough insulin to get me through if there's a bad snowstorm and I can't get to the pharmacy? Things like that. It's always a concern. So, yeah, just one of those things.
Well, the thing I think that people need to realize, all pessimists out there, including us, is that you have friends that love you and you have arms that'll carry you.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Agreed. Shall we roll on to another spin of Mega Wheel? Mega Wheel the Magnificent gave us a good one there. I think that was a wonderful thing. As we go through, and we'll go ahead and tell folks right now as the wheel is spinning down, if you want to get in touch with us, throw out some ideas for topics. Bunny will tell you how to do that.
Go ahead and drop me a line at morningpizzaradio@proton.me, or you can drop us a line here at the Mixcloud page where you found this, or you can join our Facebook group and drop us a line there.
And we love the Facebook group because, sometimes we'll post pictures from the studio, things like that, so you can see how the sausage is made.
Because we're boomers and we still use Facebook.
Do boomers? Well, I guess
everybody's a boomer that isn't 23 or something nowadays. I don't know. I don't know how the math works anymore.
How dare you call me that?
Yeah, everything's tipped on its head.
I'll just tell you, you call somebody from Gen X a boomer, you'll get a smack for that. It'll just happen.
Fart in your general direction.
Yep. So we've got a topic. How do you hope people feel when they're around you?
I hope people feel recognized and loved when I'm around. I hope that more recognized than anything, because I don't want to love all of you. Sorry. It's too much. I've only got so many love reservoirs inside of me, and hey, I save those for my loved ones.
Can't share the juice from the reservoir with everybody?
No, sorry. There's a limited supply here, but I do hope that everybody feels recognized when I'm around. I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored or that they're not seen.
Yeah.
Because you are being seen. So
I would think almost the same thing. I mean, when people are around me, I hope they feel like I'm giving them the attention they need, that I'm listening to everyone. I guess I'm thinking about this more in a business perspective, like with my job, that I'm listening, that I understand that we may disagree on some aspect of the safety or health issues that are going on in your particular area. I dig it. I dig where you're coming from. Oh, it's going to cost a lot to guard this. I get it. I understand that. I haven't always been a safety person. I've been on the business side of things, but hopefully they understand that and know that I'm not just trying to ruin their day. I'm not trying to spend money that they would rather spend someplace else. I'm actually just trying to keep people safe, because that's my job. And same thing like with artistic stuff, like working in a band situation. I hope that the people I have played in bands with, that I currently play in a band with, understand that, even if I bring in a song and I've got the demo of it and the basic parts are there, I want them to add themselves to it.
Sure.
It's a band song. It's not a solo Scott Cave song. It's something that we create together.
I think it's important for everybody to realize that you have something to contribute to this existence.
Yeah.
You may not feel that it's significant enough for you to satisfy you and your ego and your needs.
Yeah.
But everybody has wisdom. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a joke that somebody wants to hear. Everybody's got a smile somebody wants to see. So, don't feel like you've got nothing to contribute to this planet. And I think if you go out with an open enough heart that you give people the attention that they need, that we're not talking simping here or anything. We're just talking, going out and recognizing people that they are individuals with their own experiences and they do have something that they can contribute to your world.
Do you think there are people out there that have nothing to contribute? And if so, in and of themselves naturally or by their own choice?
I think it's always by your own choice.
Okay.
I know that it's very easy to say, well, there are a lot of people out there that are just plain evil or dullards, NPCs, as they say nowadays, that, they don't do anything except toe the party line or echo whatever somebody tells them to echo. And that's true for a lot of people, I think, that people fall into that trap where, I saw this on the news, so that's what I believe, or I saw this on their podcast, and that's what I believe. And sure, that's the way people convey knowledge and information for centuries.
Yeah.
But I think if you really have to work to dismantle your soul. And I think it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication to kill the light inside of you.
I think it's easy.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's real easy, especially if somebody is willing. Like if somebody suffered trauma or some tragic thing, it's very easy for them to just let the light go out. I think it's way easier to kill that light than it is to bring it back or to fan the flames.
Okay.
I think it's like any culture. It's like any movement. Most things are like that. They take a long time to build, but it's easy to kick the supports out from under them. And that goes for personal fires. And for me, culturally, it's like this. My background is in safety. That's what I do now for a job. And I've seen it in places where building a safety culture takes years. Mm-hmm. Getting people to understand you have to wear the PPE. You have to follow the work instructions. The guards have to be kept on the machines. And it gets to a point, if you're doing it right, everybody buys in, and at the end of a few years, you see the results.
Sure.
People do it. They're not thinking about it. They just do it because that's the job. But all it takes is a manager or a company president or somebody like that to walk through the facility not wearing the PPE. Wow. And everybody will see it.
Sure.
And you have just kicked the supports out.
That's the
from
problem
that culture.
That's the problem with culture, is it takes buy-in. Like you said,
absolutely.
It requires buy-in.
Yeah.
Culture is a lot more difficult to build
Yeah.
than an individual's soul. I'm speaking on an individual level. I think, sure, you can feel like the culture around you, your family. I mean, this is like culture as small as a friendship or a lover, out to a macro level of like a culture as in a country,
Okay.
a national identity,
Yeah.
whatever. You know, that it all requires a certain amount of buy-in to be a part of that. But you, as your own little universe inside of yourself, that's the thing that you have some innate spark inside of you. And the culture can collapse all around you, and you can still hold on to that
You
spark.
can.
How many people have survived gulags and concentration camps and prisons?
But
and
all it takes is that moment of doubt. And that,
to an
that
extent.
flame can go out really easily.
Okay. See, this is where we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I think it takes calculated decisions. I think it takes a willingness to throw your morals away, whatever your morals may be.
Okay.
Not everybody's morals are the same. That takes buy-in.
Yeah.
To have a culture like that. But I think you really have to, step by step, by methodical step, chip away and destroy your own soul. And people will do it for a song. They'll do it because they think it's fun. They'll do it because they think it makes them edgy or cool or whatever. They do it because they feel like they need to do that to survive. But I think if you look at an individual, you can see moments in their life. If you could take a person and stretch them out into an abstract timeline, that you could see calculated moments in their life where they chose the wrong path on purpose. That they purposely turned away from themselves.
The only thing I disagree with is your use of the word calculated. I think you can see those moments. Mm-hmm. But I think more typically they're moments where, had the person actually thought about it, they would have realized what they were doing. They could have realized what they were doing.
I agree.
I tend to shy away from should and would and just go with could, because that way I'm not pointing a finger at somebody.
Okay.
But I think, yes, those moments are what chip away, but it's very easy once you start chipping away. It's real easy for everything to just crumble around those bad decisions. And it takes a lot of effort, a concerted effort, a calculated effort to come back.
I don't think some people come back.
Oh, I don't either.
You know, I
think most
some
people don't come back.
Yeah, are quite happy to just slide right into the morass.
I think too many people have a tendency to just say, yeah, society screwed me.
Oh, yeah. It's so fashionable to play the victim nowadays.
Right. It always has been.
Everybody does it. Well, it's so awarded
It's easier.
now. Yeah, you used to be made fun of. You used to be reviled even to be a victim in some cultures. Now I think the natural norm is everybody crowds around the victim and gives accolades. They give that false, support that broken person, that shattered person feels like they need. But it's an illusion. The accolades you get online, the TikTok followers you have, the other goofballs that are online crowing on and on about their victimhood are not the people that are going to buy your product. They're not the people that are going to support you. They're not the people that are going to come and rally around your cause.
Wait a minute. Let me just get this straight. Are you saying that the internets aren't reality?
I am. And
my God.
I think there are some people out there that need to hear that, though.
Yeah. So. Well, it's the truth. How many likes somebody going to get for this? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
A like is a click with a mouse. That's not anything.
Yeah.
Really.
The internet is the epitome of what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm an ally. Don't dogpile on me. Well, it doesn't matter. Were you an ally? At this
Being
moment?
an ally is an active thing. It's
Exactly.
not a click on a website.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at on that one.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think we were coming to the same place, just with minor discrepancies.
Yeah, I mean that's the interesting thing. I think my wife and I had this discussion. We just had this discussion before we began recording.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people are honestly on their way to the same destination. There are not that many people out there that are so radically different from you.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of uniform they put on, or whatever.
Most people are running in parallel.
Exactly, but we're all headed for the same destination. We might be coming from completely different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So maybe cut some people some slack and not try to be so immediately judgmental.
Yeah.
Realize that, you may not agree with their religion. You may not agree with the way they dress. You may not agree with the crowd they run along with. But in the end, a lot of people are headed in the same place. So
yeah. I would agree. Hey, that brings us to the end of the show.
Is that it?
That is it.
Man, we really rattled on way too long.
This has been the Gen Existentialists. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.